Timestamp July 21st, about 9 p.m. Background noise is a fly that has wandered into a spider's web, which is hilarious because that thing's been being a pain in my butt all day. Working in the kitchen. Giant horsefly, not a fan. And also Jinx, who, if Jinx is eating right now, I don't know if I will have uploaded the footage of him drinking yet or not, but I did record that earlier. But yeah, July 21st, 9 p.m.-ish. Feeling like a little Major Havoc. Made the mistake of watching some online videos about COPD. Some of them were okay, some of them were freaking me out. I keep trying to remind myself I still need to see a pulmonologist, but I keep trying to remind myself. And even my doc, not yesterday, day before, whatever, when I was there and Pix went with me, she's even reminding me, she's like, look, you're not experiencing shortness of breath. I'm not even hearing a wheeze when I listen to you with a stethoscope. You're going to be okay. Just, you're eating right, quit smoking, you're going to have a long life. You probably won't need to be on oxygen for a very long time, if at all. And then I watch videos and go, oh, that sounds awful. And I read comments and, ooh, that's really bad too. Ugh, that sounds dreadful. I know better. But still dealing with some anxiety regarding that whole, diagnosed with a terminal illness thing. Also in the news today, Biden just backed out of running for president and has fully endorsed Kamala Harris. I don't know if I saw that coming or not. I think not. I figured he'd be stubborn to the end because I know he was regarding the debate. That looked like dementia to me. That looked like a senior who had a moment and wasn't really there at the moment. It looked like dementia to me. And I've seen a lot of that firsthand over the past year and a half. That was the clueless, stunned, absent look of an old person with dementia. I've seen both my parents have that look in the past year and a half. So I do think it is cognitive decline. I believe that's the term. I'm a little concerned with what Professor Lichtman says regarding his predictions. He's been right 9 out of 10 times as far as past presidential elections. And a lot, according to his metrics, his keys, as he calls them, a lot was depending on the idea of Biden staying in. What I'm not sure from a mechanic standpoint, because one of the things on there is the incumbent. One of the things that I'm not sure about is Harris is not the incumbent president, but she's an incumbent on the ticket. So I don't know if that counts, if that works. I'm not sure about his system in that respect. I'm confused about something else too. I guess Harris said that she was quoted as saying that she was going to earn and win the nomination of the delegates, I'm confused politically because I thought the delegates had already basically pledged in the primaries to the Biden-Harris ticket, which, and maybe I'm naive on this as far as party politics and all that. I know there are rules, but maybe they're more guidelines than rules. I don't know. But my understanding, I thought Biden-Harris as a ticket already owned the votes of the delegates, which, if that's the case, she doesn't have to earn or win anything. She already has them. And the only way that she wouldn't have them is if she also declined to run. Then there in fact could be a free-for-all. So I'm confused as far as she has to earn and win the nomination. With Biden dropping out, she's the only one still on that ticket that I thought already earned the delegates. So I'm confused as far as how the rules work. And I've been a game master a long time, and to me, she's already got it, And I do think it's funny that if the scenario in my head is right, then to me this is funny just because I think it's funny. A black woman has the chance to tell everyone else no. I love it. That's the world I want to live in. Be like Uhura telling Kirk to go to hell. Love it. So yeah, it's an interesting turn of events. And I know there was supposed to be another presidential debate coming up. I really hope that the orange guy is willing to keep that engagement and that Harris does earn and win the nomination. Because the idea of Harris and Trump having a debate just tickles me. Trump is, keeping it real, a criminal and a pathological liar. And Harris was a prosecutor. Oh, I have so much popcorn here. I'll go off diet that day. I'll microwave up. I have light butter. I do have light butter microwavable popcorn that I can throw in there. That sounds like a great watch. Oh. He'll get eviscerated. It'll be hilarious. If he doesn't chicken out. And if Harris wins the nomination. I would really love it. And I guess party politics rules. There is a problem with president and vice president being from the same state. I think there's some kind of a thing about that they can't be. And I don't mean Gavin Newsom, although I think he's a very good pick. Also, Whitmer, I think, is a good pick. Might be her running mate. That would be a pretty cool thing. I think it'd be funny if the Biden-Harris ticket just flipped. If Harris took lead as president and Biden went as vice president, just kind of, because he does have a really good stratagem. If Biden kind of got Harris going, like training wheels kind of thing, the whole idea of here's my plan. Because he's already got solid connections with a lot of people and has gotten things started. So let him finish it. He bows out. She picks a new vice president. And I think it'd be funny. And I don't know how that would complicate the ticket because it would just be a swap. Could be funny though. No one's ever done this before. But yeah, something. Oh, hey, X. I wish, but they're both from California, that, and she probably wouldn't anyway. I have a feeling she's way too progressive. But since, Katie Porter gave up her seat because she was pursuing the Senate position, Vice President whiteboard. Oh, talk about somebody eviscerating people. God, it's one of my favorite things on like C-SPAN is when she pulls out that whiteboard and starts going at, like an oil industry CEO or something. That's some good. That's better than any MMA. Ooh, brutal. I love it. But yeah, Katie Porter's schedule, so to speak, is kind of freed up, so it would be neat if she could grab her as vice president. But they're both from California, so I don't think she's allowed to do that. I'm not sure what the rule is on that, but my understanding is if they're from the same state, they can't be on the ticket together. I don't know how that works, but I think Gretchen Whitmer would be a good choice. I don't know if all the pretend alpha males could handle the idea of 2 women in charge. I'm good with that because they're both competent and more than qualified. That's my only stipulation. I've had quite a few women bosses over the years and female companions that have been rather strong-willed. It's actually kind of attractive. But yeah, earn and win. I'm still confused by that because I really thought she just kind of had them and only doesn't have them if she gives them back. Confused on that. Maybe I'm naive. I don't know. Gotta work in the morning, so I'm gonna be going to bed here pretty soon. Pardon. Smoked 2 cigars today. And I guess the Wellbutrin hasn't kicked in yet. It's supposed to kick in like 6-7 weeks. So I've actually cut back to 2 cigars from like 4 to 6 cigars without the benefit of the medication. So I was thinking about that earlier today. It's like, oh, okay, my own willpower is doing that. That's good. Maybe that'll make this easier once the medication's at full strength, I guess. I don't know. This is my first time with something like that, so it's all new to me. I did just smoke, which is probably why I have a little bit of a... Because, again, my breathing's pretty good. Like, really good. Like, again, my doc the other day was like, I can't even tell that you smoke. Which, maybe that does mean I get to live a long life. That'd be kind of cool. Oh, and I thought about something. My cat is messing with me. Been thinking about like side hustle-ish things. I don't have the equipment to do it here, but on the when side of things, when it happens with my parents. My basic task is going to be to go there and start trying to figure things out. But one of the things that I need to get my dental work done too, but one of the things that crossed my mind, I've done a lot of theater, and one of the compliments that I get a lot, other than my amazing butt, I have actually gotten that compliment before, which is just very strange. And I also had female members of the audience, when we did Rocky Horror, tell me that I was, and they weren't being sarcastic or whatnot, they were being sincere. They were like, you were so sexy, which to me is really strange. It's really strange to me, because I'm wearing booty shorts, high heels, and a corset the entire night, and you think that I'm really sexy. Beginning to understand, or at that point I was kind of understanding the whole Tim Curry reaction of, you people are more messed up than I am. But the compliment that I get, other than my butt, is that people find my speaking voice and or my singing voice very pleasing. So I do want to get back to writing. and this is kind of a goofy side note, watching videos on YouTube and getting bombarded with ads and whatnot. And I keep getting the like Audible publishing ad, you can be a millionaire, And I know that there's a little bit more to it than just, do this program for 1 week and suddenly you've got $1 million. I'm not stupid. I've seen a lot of scams and scams and shams. But I got to thinking about it. And I looked into Audible, and I already kind of knew what it was anyway. But one of the things that I might do as like a side hustle is I could probably do audibles of once I'm there and I can set up, because I've got the gear, but I need to set up like a booth and all that. I can actually do audibles of like public domain works, like classical literature, which I love anyway. I could do some H.G. Wells, Jules Verne, Poe, Lewis Carroll. Anytime I do that, I'd be thinking of Rusty, but that's not a bad thing. Hey, one of those other obnoxious moth things. I don't know what it is down here. Get these like little moth things that like to live in your pantry and eat your pasta and stuff. We kill them off, and then 6 months later, another like 3 or 4 appear. I don't know. I don't even know what they are. They're just really annoying. But yeah, I was thinking about that. I'm like, do Lewis Carroll, and then I suddenly was thinking about like Jabberwocky, and Rusty popped into my head, and I got happy and sad all at the same time. For those of you who don't know, just for context, Rusty was a performer who's an older guy that worked with us in our theater, and he was incredibly cool. He was a little bit older than me, and now I've described him this way before. He was kind of the Herschel to my Rick. When I was in a weird, uncharted place, he was the guy that I would reach out to and go, hey man, I don't know what to do here. And big Lewis Carroll fan. Big Poe fan too. And he actually died on stage. We were doing a Halloween show, a variety show. And the premise of the Halloween show was that, kind of borrowing the Beetlejuice death waiting room concept, the entire audience has died and they don't realize it, and the performers are the employees of the facility, kind of like Miss Argentina, if I knew then. And we're attempting to stall because we know that all the different players are going to come competing for the souls of the audience. So we're just trying to keep the audience content and also keep all the entities that would want to claim souls at bay until we can sort out this administrative cock-up. So Rusty, I think his character, he was like Bob from accounting, and he was doing a reading of he had already done like we did. It was a 2-night thing. The first night the show went on without a hitch. The second night is when things went horribly wrong. He had already done like a number or two. We were maybe halfway through the show, and he was doing a reading of The Raven, which mutually favorite poem, mine and his. And he was in the middle of reading, and he just kind of looked up and said, "I'm sorry," and then collapsed. And the paramedics came, and all the king's horses. He apparently suffered, I was told, an aortic rupture, which meant that part of his heart burst. And he pretty much wasn't coming back from that. I was told that even in the hospital, if he was in a hospital bed and that happened, they'd have a hard time saving him, because his heart broke. So I lost my friend. But yeah. Lewis Carroll, Edgar Allan Poe, H.G. Wells, Jules Verne, Frankenstein. And actually, I'd want to look up, because I know Frankenstein was written by Mary Shelley. They were having kind of a write-a-thon contest. It was like a party, and they were all trying to come up with a scary story during the storm kind of thing. That's the way it was told to me. And there were quite a few writers in the room, all sharing their scary stories. It would be fun to actually do, I think there were like four books that came out of that, each from the different people. It'd be fun to do that as a series. It was in 1819, I believe. Yeah, I am that dork. Anyway, I've gone on for 20 minutes. I apologize for that. I need to get some sleep, because I got some stationery back to school to put away tomorrow morning, I'm sure. It'll be good. But yeah, I'm thinking about that once I actually get to Leonardo Station, once that's started, that might be a good side hustle of sorts that I could do. And it'd be fun. And I'd be, leaving something behind, so to speak. It's weird. I still maintain. So we did Rent a year before we did Rocky Horror. Yeah, a year before we did Rocky Horror, we did Rent, and I was Collins. I had a lot of people, because we had pretty good crowds. I had a lot of people tell me that they thought that I'll Cover You or I'll Cover You Reprise is, the best song in the show. And it had to have been cool to do the best song in the show and all that. And it's a very moving, I'll Cover You is a great song, and then Reprise is just, it's not hard to sing, but if you get lost in the emotion of it, and I'm a pretty emotive actor, it's a crusher. You're singing, a eulogy. It's pretty intense if you're doing it right, and I'd like to think that I did it right. But I think the best song in the show is One Song Glory. And as an artist, I understand the heart of that. The idea of, let me find that one song, that one last refrain, that something that leaves an indelible mark on the world. Let me make the world just that little bit better before I go. I know I got deep. It's my thoughts anyway. I need to get some sleep. All right. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Make it a great day.